2,785 kilometres over 8 days. We're covering 3 states through the outback of Australia, ticking off iconic locations. Starting at Broken Hill and then into the Flinders Ranges, up the Birdsville Track, back east to Batuta Pub, down to the Strezlecki Track to Innamincka, and back to Broken Hill. It's day 7, we're hitting the Strezlecki Track. We're meant to be going to Cameron Corner, but the Outback had other ideas and the roads are all closed due to the rain, so we're now taking the long way around. 500 kilometres gets us to Leigh Creek via the Strezlecki Track. Day 7, Innamincka, and we're taking the Strezlecki Track down to Leigh Creek. Now this is where we deviate from the original plan. We were going to go to Cameron's Corner and the roads are just too messed up, so that's not going to happen. So would have been much shorter. Now we have to take a longer trip. Basically where we are in Innamincka, the Strezlecki Track is the only way out. It's the only thing that is open.
Hello, Vern. Lovely to see you this morning.
So, Strezlecki Track, 500 kilometres down to Leigh Creek, 470 through to Lyndhurst. So I do remember someone recently saying that they would limit themselves to 400 kilometres a day, but don't forget to get the lunch out of the fridge. I've done that, thank you, past Vern. Now the only thing about today is you'll notice this bit of cloud developing behind us. Started to show signs of raining yesterday. We haven't seen any rain so far, but yesterday the clouds started appearing. One of the guys, his wife's in Broken Hill, and she said it was raining in Broken Hill yesterday. Now for the last day, it can rain, that's fine, sealed roads, might be a bit cold, but yeah. But if it rains on us on the Strezlecki Track, that's going to make things real interesting.
Last night I said, what day is it? He goes, Thursday. I went, I have no idea.
Yeah. Lyndhurst, 468. The Strezlecki Track. Here we go. Another one to tick off the list.
The Strzelecki Track is named after Paweł Edmund Strzelecki, a Polish explorer and geologist who significantly contributed to the mapping of Australia in the 19th century. Strzelecki is known for naming Australia's highest mountain, Mount Kosciuszko, after Polish hero Tadeusz Kościuszko. Of course, we name it Mount Kosciuszko here, but if you ask anyone Polish, they will respond with a raised eyebrow. But it's a lasting reminder of Strzelecki's influence on the Australian landscape. Yes, that did take multiple takes.
Put on some music. First song comes up, The Last of Us soundtrack. And now I've got Hans Zimmer playing Interstellar in my ears. It's a little dramatic. An intersection. Won't be many of those today. What'd you do?
Got flat.
Flat.
Murphy's Law, mate.
about where we're at. 78, almost 80 kilometres into the tank. The fuel burn's looking good. We're 426 k's to Leigh Creek. Some sort of refinery off in the distance. Moomba, what it says on the map. Processing something for us. Could be gas, maybe, as a guess. I thought the Mad Max compound was back in Silverton.
Established in the 1960s, Moomba is primarily a natural gas processing centre operated by Santos, a major Australian energy company. The gas and oil extracted from this area supply much of Australia's eastern states. Or it's a secret government base hiding aliens. Could be either.
Lyndhurst, Adelaide. So this spot right now marks the deviation from the plan, which is pretty incredible. Everything that's happened and everything that all the rain and weather prior to this event that almost called it off, and there was another plan B, plan C, plan D, and luckily we've been able to stay to the plan mostly. I saw a sign back there saying rest stop 1 kilometre. I thought, oh, that sounds like a pretty good idea to me.
Crack this. This goes whoosh.
Good possibility that'll actually get me all the way there.
Yeah, well, if I just say this gets me 100 extra 100 k's, then it's I'll be about 30 short if it's a 570.
Right.
470. 470. Because I got 340 plus
Don't forget we're going on Lyndhurst
yeah.
all the way, so it's only 272 to the end.
Yeah.
Or to the Lyndhurst.
Should be fine.
How'd you go, Arnie?
Yeah, good. I stopped for a few photos.
Yeah.
Nice.
I've been out here a few times. I've got some friends and stuff.
Quick pit stop. Nice little rest. Some twisties. Bit of water. Thrown some fuel in the bike. Now, I took 5 litres plus another probably litre, maybe a bit more than a litre. The final dregs in one of the other cans, maybe even 2 actually. So I should have probably even make it all the way to the end. 272 to go to Lyndhurst. We're seeing Lyndhurst where we're going to need to get to on fuel, but there's always, the thing is about the Outback, there's always a possibility that they don't have any.
See much colour out here, so the yellow everlasting daisies, or yellow buttons, are pretty surreal, thriving in the harsh arid environment. These wildflowers are common in the outback Australia and often bloom after rainfall.
It's almost like yellow snowfields. guess it's without warning, you just end up in the middle of nowhere. And you don't quite know how that happened. It's just a couple of minutes ago there was trees and hills, and then you suddenly just realise you're in the middle of nothing. Guess, but I'm assuming based on our direction where we're heading that is the Flinders Ranges over there.
Checking the map afterwards, it was indeed the Flinders Ranges, giving us a little bit of a boost knowing we're finally getting somewhere.
Can't really describe why, but I just got a sense that I felt like we were closer to, I don't know, civilization I guess is probably the right word for it, but it's, you know, almost a sense of home, normality, maybe the end of the outback. I can't really describe why. Maybe it's just the trees or something, I don't know. I just get this sense of being closer. Suddenly I felt like I was closer to my normal.
We stopped for lunch at 161 kilometres before Lyndhurst. There's not much around, there's no towns, no servos out here. Nothing but a dry riverbed lined with trees and shrubs giving us a little bit of shade. A little oasis out in the dirt.
Had a bit of a stop there for lunch, and we're back underway again. 161 kilometres to Lyndhurst. But apparently I just heard that it's raining in Birdsville this morning, so we managed to outrun the weather. Sometimes just a little bit of dumb luck goes a long way. I can see the flag. I can see the flag. I can see the waypoint. It's still a long ways off. It's still 146 kilometers away. But I can see it. It's there. Pretty sure he looks like from a distance here he's actually parked up waiting for us to go past. I've seen that a lot. It's tough out here and you can't just be an arsehole, you've got to help each other out. A lot more curves in the road now, a lot less straight lines. The playlist of irony continues with Interstellar. Must be in the first act of the movie, judging by the dust.
So, bit of a predicament here. I've had to leave the the main group of 23 riders to go back to help the support vehicle that's blown another tyre. So I had to travel 40k back. The group's left, they're 50, 60k ahead of me. I think I've got 210 k's to go. I don't think I'm going to make it in fuel. The rock out here are getting thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker. And I am in the middle of nowhere on the Strezlecki Track. They call it adventure riding. It's pretty hard to maintain 100k an hour in this stuff. But anyway, she's a beast. I'm loving it. Look at this. There's nothing. Barely any flyers. It's crazy. You know, let's hope I make it.
Parto is like the pit crew on wheels, keeping us moving, and with about 80 kilometres left to go, he had certainly earned his keep.
Not quite out of the woods just yet. All this rock is quite sharp and big chunky pieces. So even though it's only 80 k's to go on the dirt before we get to Lyndhurst, a couple of fuel lights are starting to come on. So right down to the last minute. I mean, we've made good time, although ETA to the finish line is now 4 p.m, so still a fair bit to get through. Everyone's getting a bit tired. The terrain's a bit hard. It's hard on the vehicles too, in the dust. So close, yet so far. It's all about endurance at the moment.
The support vehicle carries over 100 litres of fuel, which is plenty for us to get through, even with this plan shifting requiring more kilometres. The thing about doing these trips as a group is that no one is left to deal with these issues on their own. We're all there to help each other out.
Hang on. Lane markers. This kind of looks like a road. I wonder if that's someone hitting reserve. WR's run out of fuel, so Parto and I are gonna do a U-ey and go back. Apparently it's 4 k's back, and Shane, the support vehicle, is about 20 k's behind us, so he'll be hitting the tar at any moment.
With 50 kilometres still to go before Lyndhurst, the WR had run out of fuel. Parto was out and I had just enough to scrape by.
So, update. Out of fucking fuel. And I'm not the only one. I'm not. He's not yet, but he will be. WR boy's done. Big girls. Oh, it's not going to make it. Anyway, somewhere down that road is the support vehicle.
The support vehicle had made it to the sealed road, so we topped up the WR and the KTM, leaving only a few litres left in the jerry cans, but it's enough to get us through to the final stretch. We're feeling pretty confident, but little do we know what was waiting for us, or more like what wasn't waiting for us when we got to Lyndhurst.
To Lyndhurst. They Brumbies. Is that the fuel? There isn't any.
After rationing out the remaining drops of fuel, we had the final stretch to Leigh Creek. If the last 7 days has taught me anything, is my best fuel economy is around the 80km/h mark. So I dialed that into my sweet spot, tucked my head down and squeezed every last drop of fuel out of that tank.
Turns out Lyndhurst doesn't have premium. Sorry, doesn't have unleaded. Only has diesel. So we've got 40 k's to go. 38. And my distance to empty is saying 36. How stunning is this afternoon? Beautiful South Australian sunset. Just got a few corners to negotiate.
It wasn't going to be the fastest ride, but at this point I was actually quite happy just taking in the scenery. Every kilometre felt like a small victory, but rather than concern, I felt an overwhelming sense of achievement and relief.
It's only fair to share the drafting. Just around this corner. Someone's out. Who's that? Shane's stopping. Leigh Creek. That was so good. What's that?
You guys want me to head to the pub?
Oh, okay.
That way there.
Up that way, that's where everyone's heading. Thank you.
We're all pretty knackered, which probably explains why for the next 15 minutes we all wander around like a scene from Benny Hill, completely lost trying to find our rooms. Everyone was following the next person, assuming that they knew where they were going.
Someone should have got some instructions.
I don't know what's going on.
I mean, yeah, they found something over here.
I don't even know what we're looking for. Oh, you got keys. You've got keys. I haven't even got a key.
Oh, they don't?
No.
No, you've got to go back round to the pub and
Yeah. Where do we go?
Leigh Creek is a small town in South Australia and was built in the 1940s as a coal mining hub, providing fuel for the state's power stations. The mine is closed today, but the town remains a central part of the region, with the Leigh Creek area school serving children across the outback. It's more than just a school, it's a community hub bringing together families from remote settlements in this vast, isolated area. There is a bittersweet feeling and a sense of sadness as this adventure is drawing towards a close, but within myself and the group there is an unmistakable sense of happiness and accomplishment. We've pushed ourselves through some of the toughest terrain, faced some challenges we didn't expect, and come out the other side with a greater appreciation of the country we call home. Tomorrow we'll complete the final day, but it'll be with confidence knowing that most of the challenging parts are now behind us. But there will be more to this day than just relaxing and reflecting on a fantastic trip.